Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at georgiaconstructioncareers.com.
Hey, does it matter if this leaks?
It don't matter to me, can't see it from my house.
Illegal use of hands, improper training.
GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com has 14 different highly skilled trades with tuition-free training in our certified apprenticeship programs to train you the right way. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
All right, hello and welcome. And the audio sounds a little different today. All right, welcome to the 287th episode of the Alfa Insurance Georgia Prep Sports Drive for the GHSA State Title. Today we're going to be talking to Kell head coach Bobby May, and then we're also going to cover the Volleyball State the Volleyball State Playoffs, and I'm going to go over the latest composite rankings. So we're having a little technical problems on the call. Do you see Coach May? All right, so I'm going to call him real quick, and we'll talk about their upcoming matchup this Friday night. Okay. One sec, guys. Hey, Coach, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, all right, let's do this. All right, so we had the technical issues, but we got Coach May on. I want to talk just about what you've seen with your team this year. It's been such an exciting run. I feel like you guys have gone through a lot of adversity, and then you've just put yourself in this position. So what has this season been like to put you guys in this position to compete for the region title and really have a special run?
Yeah, I mean, I think the kids that worked on it did a good job of things like that. Obviously, starting off with a tough loss, but they've done a good job of trying to stay focused and, keep their eye on the goal, so to say. And we're excited for the opportunity to play for what could, or I guess would be the region championship.
For sure, and I mean, it's been an exciting time for Kell. We talked about the basketball state titles last year. You guys had that tough loss to open the season, but I feel like the excitement never has let up, and there's got to be a lot of fun right now to be in those Kell hallways.
Yeah, I think it's an exciting time. I mean, our softball team just made it to the group defensively. Our volleyball team won our region, and obviously we got a chance to win a region championship. So our fans have been excited, and our kids have been excited, and our communities in those sports. That's been awesome.
And I want to talk just about that Parkview loss just for a second. I feel like in that game, I'm just going to be honest, in the first half, it's like nothing really went your way. You guys caught some really tough breaks. I'm talking like the pass interference call on Mike Matthews at the half. And it seemed like every time you guys had a play to kind of get back in the game, something else wouldn't go your way, and then you guys kept fighting. So what was just the team's attitude after that loss, just because it felt like the score didn't really reflect it, and your guys kind of came out the following weeks knowing that they could improve?
Yeah, I think it gave us some confidence to show us that we can play with
And then what have you seen from the offense just in the weeks since, just the potential and just how it's clicking right now, just the balance and overall potential?
Yeah, so I think the good thing about us is that we're able to be pretty balanced. The last 2 weeks we've dealt with some weather, so, especially last week we had to run the ball, and, we really still have made some mistakes. We've had some costly penalties and, a couple of drops last week in the rain, but we think that we can run the ball and we can throw the ball, so, I think the biggest thing is being able to be balanced and, take what the defense gives us.
Yeah, and no one really predicted it was going to be a rainy night last Friday, and I'm sure just a big game against Cambridge. You guys handled that very well, but you were talking about running the football. We analyzed Tyreek Green's film yesterday on the show. He had so many highlights just from that Cambridge game. But what have you seen from the offensive line? Just at this point in the season, they were making great box on screen plays, just the step they've taken.
Yeah, so the good thing about our offense is that we have a lot of experience. Last year we also lost one senior. We played 6 or 7 guys in the offensive line last year. We're playing the same guys this year. So they've obviously grown and got a bit more physical and things like that. Obviously, we still have a long way to go. But we have really good athletes, so as long as they can open up some holes and protect our quarterback for a couple seconds, I think we've got a good chance. But they've done a great job improving over the offseason. Like I said, kind of letting our athletes play.
All right, well, Coach May, thank you so much for the time. I'm going to let you go right now. We'll see you on Friday. Can't wait for it.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. All right, so I cut it a little short just because it's probably difficult to hear them, but when you look at this Kell team and how much they've progressed, it is a completely unique situation because last year they had the big win in Corky. They started off the season hot, and then their first game that humbled them was against Cambridge, and then they had to bounce back from that. It's a complete different scenario this season. They started off with a tough loss. They lose their quarterback. Peyton Zachary went out that game. He had to recover from that hit he took. And then each week it's just been a steady improvement. And as he said, the conditions last Friday and then playing a Cambridge team where they felt that they needed to run the ball to come out with the victory, they did that. They were patient. They responded to each Cambridge strike in the first half and then dominated from that point forward, came away with a huge victory. They're so explosive. They can put up points at a very high rate, and I think that's going to be the biggest storyline in this matchup against GAC. You look at what they've done as well. They've been stout on both sides of the football. They're confident in what they do, and GAC has historically had great quarterback play and balanced offense, and obviously great play in the trenches. So it's going to be one of the best matchups. All the credit for Kell, what they've done the last few weeks. That's why we picked this matchup. That's why it's a premier showdown, and it's going to be very, very exciting. We got Rusty in the building right now.
Oh man, who's that?
We had Coach May on a second ago, and then
Big one.
we were watching you on the big screen yesterday.
Oh man, that's not good.
So Rusty's in here. He's excited about this matchup. But then I mentioned Tyreek Green, running back. He's also playing in the secondary. Najee and I broke down his film for a good portion of yesterday's show on underrated and overlooked. And I mean, this guy is very dangerous with the football. The key play that stood out, though, also, is like when he was lined up at the receiver position and Bryce Clavin took off, he laid a huge block, just put the Cambridge defender on his seat. And then
Good.
Okay, let's go to a break real quick.
What you doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Say something.
Okay, so we're back. The audio definitely got tampered with yesterday because we're getting ready for the Hall of Fame this weekend, and so we'll have to figure that out next time. We'll probably do a shorter show this week because I know everything's picked up. We ran into this earlier this season, so it looks like we didn't learn our lesson. But let's go over the composite rankings real quick, as we do each Wednesday. So despite, okay, let me just make sure. All right, yes, this is the updated version of it. So despite Buford falling to Mill Creek, they still get number one this week. The AJC kept them at number one, GPB number one. I had them. That's crazy to me. I'm refreshing. Make sure I'm not tripping. I thought for sure that would change. Okay, so yeah, this is not an updated one. One sec, guys.
Hey, I lost because
I'm looking at today's newsletter. There's no way that's right. Okay, so it looks like there was a mistake right there. All right, well, I guess I'll pivot again. My Lord. All right, let's go over the volleyball results yesterday. Good grief. So last night, first round started off, we had class 6A, 4A, and 2A playing, and then tonight will be class A, class 3A, class 5A, and class 7A. There were not a lot of upsets last night. We'll go over the results starting in class 6A. So you had St. Pius advance, sweet 3-set win over Lee County. Lakeside Evans, another top 10 team, they advanced. They're going to square off in the second round. Johns Creek had a big win over Sequoia. That was on the road. Johns Creek earned the number 3 seed out of that talented region with was that Alpharetta, Marist, and Blessed Trinity. Sorry, not Marist, St. Pius. You got Lanier. They fell to Noonan. Riverwood beat Houston County. Woodward Academy advanced. Alpharetta. Okay, yeah, Pope was the other team in that region. That's right. So Pope was the number 1, Alpharetta number 2, Johns Creek number 3. Alpharetta swept Alatoona. That was one of the few top 10 matchups in the first round. Alpharetta had its 32-match win streak snapped in the region championship to Pope, but it looks like they are back on track with a solid first-round win over Alatoona, who was in the top 10. North Forsyth beat South Paulding 3-0. Jackson County swept. Pope swept Woodstock, one of the more dangerous number 4 seeds in the tournament. Glen Academy topped Jonesboro 3-1. Marist 3-0 over Tift. Appalachia beat East Paulding. Blessed Trinity a 3-2 win over River Ridge. That was another really competitive matchup in the first round. Two teams that have both been in the top 10. South Effingham beat Murrow. Veterans 3-0 over Lakeside DeKalb. And that is it for the Class 6A. In Class 4A, Baldwin 3-1 win over Luella. Stars Mills swept past New Hampstead. Cedartown 3-0 over North Clayton. Pace Academy beat Seconder 3-0. Pace Academy is ranked number 1 at this point. You got Woodland Stockbridge over Hardaway 3-1. Troop over West Lawrence 3-1. Central Carroll over Riverdale 3-0 sweep. Holy Innocents beat Chestatee. That was a top 10 matchup, 3-2, a very tight game. Westminster 3-0 over North Oconee. Westminster, I believe, is number 2 in the poll heading into the postseason. You had Heritage Catoosa 3-0 over Southwest DeKalb. Whitewater 3-1 over Islands. McDonough 3-1 over Shaw. Lovett 3-0 over Cherokee Bluff. And then there are a couple more in 4A. You had Walnut Grove advance, Trinity Christian, and Perry. So that's it for Class 4A. That will be the Sweet 16 moving forward. In Class 2A, Cook 3-1 over Johnson. Augusta, Landmark Christian, they're ranked number 2. They won 3-0 over Toombs County. North Cobb Christian 3-0 win over Murray County. Elite Scholars Academy, a team that's been in the finals multiple times the last few years. They won 3-0 over East Jackson. Tech Career beat Central Macon 3-2. One of the few 5-set matches. Savannah Arts advanced 3-0 over Spencer. Fannin County 3-1 over Walker. Providence Christian 3-0 over Towers. They remain a contender in that top 5 range. 3-0 win by Banks County. 3-0 Model over Kip Atlanta. Pierce County 3-0 over Callaway. Davidson Fine Arts 3-0 over Rutland. And then Athens Academy 3-0 over McNair. Top ranked Mount Perrin 3-0 win. ELCA 3-0 win. And Ace Charter 3-0. So I said it when I walked in, there wasn't one upset according to the preseason rankings last night, but tonight it's going to be 7A, 5A, 3A, and 1A. And there's some big matchups to watch for. One of them that is a top 10, you got Kell is going to face Calhoun. That's going to be a big test for them. Kell is the number 2 seed after falling to GAC in the region championship. GAC is going to play Woodland Cartersville. Another big matchup you got in 3A, Monroe area against top-ranked Sandy Creek. You got Douglas is going to face Oconee County. Oconee County is at number 2 heading into the playoffs. Mary Persons against St. Vincent's. Lumpkin County versus Lafayette. And then Christian Heritage versus Whitfield Academy, another one that stood out. Let's go to Class 7A. Marietta versus Carrollton. Marietta is one of the more dangerous higher seeds. They're ranked number 10 in my poll. They've played all the top teams, been very competitive this year. You got Peachtree Ridge versus South Forsyth. I expect that one to be one of the closer ones. Collins Hill is going to face Walton. Colquitt County is going to travel to Brookwood. Brookwood is the number 2 seed after Grayson topped them in the region championship. You got Milton versus North Gwinnett. North Gwinnett had a rough region tournament, but they still are the number 2 seed, and so I think that will be an interesting one to watch. Cherokee is going to travel to Mill Creek. Watch out for the Warriors. They're one of the more dangerous road teams heading into this first round. West Forsyth is going to play Norcross. You got Valdosta versus Grayson. That's a 4 versus 1. And then Harrison versus East Coweta. So I think tonight the matchups are a lot more evenly matched. There's more of those top 10 ones. And then the big ones for me, Clark Central versus Midtown. Midtown has had a great season, beat St. Pius earlier. You got Calhoun versus Kell. We talked about that one. Olaf versus McIntosh. I like McIntosh in 5A. They were my pre-playoff number 1. and then Jackson versus Jefferson. So some big matchups. Cambridge versus Dalton also. We'll have all those updated at scoreatl.com. You can check it out there. And when it comes to Class 7A, I have this article right here. I was reading it. North Cobb was red hot heading into the region tournament. They ended up squaring up with Walton in the finals. I think they were riding like an 18-match win streak. They were up 2-0, and then Walton rallied 25-15 in the third, 25-17 in the fourth, and then I believe it was 15-10 in the fifth. So completely stunned them. But now, how is North Cobb going to respond? They've been one of the better volleyball programs in the state. They've made it to state titles. They're familiar with Walton, obviously, whether it's in some of these finals matchups or just in the region. So not a terrible loss, but it obviously was a stunner just to be in control through the first two sets and then have it slip away. Another team that I'm interested in seeing how they're going to handle the postseason is Mount Bethel Christian Academy. Last year they made it all the way to the finals. They were ranked number 1, they were ranked number 2 for most of the season, and then they had all that momentum going into the finals and then lost a heartbreaker. So this year they're going to have to do it as the number 4 seed, but I think they are a talented team. That's why they're ranked despite being on the road as a 4 seed. So you can find all that at scoreatl.com, and the brackets are updated as well as the dates for each of the rounds. Okay. Thought this was an interesting tidbit. So I've really been impressed with Elbert County the last few seasons. Their head coach is Shannon Jarvis, the former Mill Creek head coach that built that program from the start. He is an Elbert County alum, and then he went and took that job. So one of the games that we picked last week in the top 10 pick'em matchups was Elbert County against Rabun. I liked the way Elbert County was playing. I picked them, and they have been named Team of the Week. They're very dangerous this year in Class A Division I. So Elbert County and Rabun County are just 75 miles apart in northeast Georgia, but they had never played each other until 2016. The timing could not have been worse for Elbert. Rabun County was 3 years into what would become a 50-game winning streak in region play. And that dynasty would cost Elbert County at least 4 region titles, but now it's over. Elbert ended the state's longest win streak of its kind. That was last Friday, obviously, and an 0-7 run against Rabun with a 21-9 road victory last week. Elbert will play at home Friday against Commerce in a game likely to decide the Region 8 Division I title. They've been named Team of the Week. So that's a big-time victory for Elbert County. They snapped the longest win streak. And so who is carrying the longest region win streak now? Well, 2 programs stand out. One is Milton. They've not lost a region game, I believe, in 5 seasons since Adam Clack's first season. They're going to play West Forsyth this week. That will be a big-time match at West Forsyth. Shut out Lambert last week. They're going to have their hands full with that Milton offense, and then obviously Milton's defense is the real deal as well. But that's a big matchup that could potentially end a long win streak. The other very long one is Marist, 17 game region win streak. They haven't lost since I think it was the 2019 season. They lost by 3 points in overtime to Blessed Trinity. And who does Marist play this week? Undefeated North Atlanta. North Atlanta has never beaten Marist before. They're 7-0. That's the best start, obviously, in school history. They also have never won a region title before, and then the most wins they've ever posted in a season was last year with 8. So North Atlanta has a chance to make history and also to end one of the state's longest active win streaks after we saw Rabun County's snapped this past week. And that's a streak that predated Gunner Stockton and all those teams. So that was a really big deal. And we'll see what happens this week in that matchup. I have an article on the North Atlanta Marist matchup posted at scoreatl.com. All right. Okay, so in other news, they released what the classifications might look like next year without 7A. Let's see, a couple things that stand out. Okay, you have Rome going up to the highest classification, Douglas County going up. Let's see if anyone went down. I don't see any current 7A that went down. That makes sense. Because I think what's going to happen is the highest classification is just going to expand in teams. So all the current 7A teams will stay in that new 6A, and they'll just add probably 8 or 10 that have moved up from 6A. Let's see. And then that Class 3A to A private. I'm trying to see if there's any private schools that are going to be in the other classes. Looks like they're going to be in 5A with Blessed Trinity, Woodward Academy, Greater Atlanta Christian, St. Pius. All right, Lovett's going to be in 4A. That makes sense. So as much as it seemed like a lot was going to change, I don't think it's going to look that different. We'll obviously see what the regions look like. That might be the biggest difference. More region matchups, less teams making the playoffs in some cases, but other than that, it's the same amount of state titles handed out, and it looks like the bigger private schools are going to remain outside of that Class 3A to 1A. All right, let's go to break real quick. Back on the other side.
Dang, where you get this car?
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. Yes, you can get 10 of these.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and start your future today.
What you doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.